Ladies and gentlemen, remember this: diamonds are not found lying around. You dig deep, you endure pressure, and only then do you find something truly valuable. So ask yourself, are you living like a diamond, or just easily available like sand? We often seek recognition, respect, or opportunities expecting them to be handed to us. But the truth is, in both life and career, value is not something you're automatically entitled to. It's something you cultivate. Think of any person you admire, whether it's an entrepreneur, artist, or leader. They didn't just arrive at the top. They put in the effort, the time, the discipline. They failed, they learned, they grew. And through that journey, they became valuable. Being constantly available to people, tasks, distractions might make you seem busy, but it rarely makes you impactful. Real value is about what you bring to the table, your expertise, your ideas, your mindset. It's forged in quiet hours of focus and relentless practice, not in how many times you say yes to others. The more you invest in becoming excellent at what you do, sharpening your skill, building emotional intelligence, learning how to lead, speak, create, the more your presence begins to carry weight. People start noticing when you speak less but say more, when you show up less frequently but deliver more impact, and that's when your absence starts to matter more than your presence, because you've built value. In a world where everyone is trying to be seen, the real power lies in becoming someone who's worth waiting for. So stop chasing applause, stop being everything for everyone, get obsessed with becoming better. Because when you've earned your value, not just demanded it, you'll never need to beg for attention. The world will lean in on its own. That's not arrogance, that's earned power. That's the difference between being noticed and being remembered. There's a powerful shift that happens when you realize that your energy, time, and peace are non-renewable resources. The moment you begin to guard them, everything changes. You stop apologizing for putting yourself first and start living with intention instead of obligation. People often mistake kindness for availability, and that's where many of us get drained, distracted, and diluted. You don't owe anyone unlimited access to you. Setting boundaries isn't about being rude, it's about being real. It's about honoring your limits so that you can thrive, not just survive. It's about recognizing that every yes to someone else is a no to something within you, your rest, your goals, your well-being. Think about that the next time you agree to something out of guilt instead of purpose. When you make space for yourself by saying no to things that don't align with your values, you start showing up stronger where it really matters. Your relationships become clearer. The people who truly respect you will honor your boundaries. Those who don't were never truly for you. The most successful people in the world don't say yes to everything. They protect their time like royalty because they know their impact depends on it. When you set boundaries, you teach people how to treat you. You stop being overextended, overlooked, and overwhelmed. It's not your job to be constantly available. It's your job to be present where your soul is fed, your talents are respected, and your growth is supported. You can be compassionate without being a doormat. You can be giving without being depleted. Your peace is your power. Guard it fiercely, live it unapologetically. In today's hyper-connected world, it's easy to believe that being seen all the time means you're doing something meaningful. Social media, constant notifications, and endless online presence have conditioned us to think visibility is equivalent to value. But let's pause for a second, because being everywhere isn't the same as being impactful. Just because someone posts daily, attends every event, or constantly says yes doesn't automatically mean they're succeeding. True worth isn't measured by how loud you are or how frequently you show up. It's measured by the depth of what you bring when you do. Think about the most influential people you admire. Many of them aren't always in the spotlight, but when they speak, when they act, when they show up, it matters. Their value isn't in their frequency. It's in their intention, their presence, their excellence. That's what leaves a lasting impression. There's a quiet strength in choosing to be intentional with your presence. You don't need to prove yourself constantly. You don't need to perform endlessly. When your work is strong, your values are clear, and your self-worth is rooted internally, you become someone who is felt, not just seen. Constant exposure without purpose can actually dilute your impact. Sometimes, stepping back to focus, to grow, to recharge, adds more value to who you are than simply showing up for everything. So stop equating activity with achievement. Choose meaning over momentum, be strategic, not just seen, because true power isn't in being everywhere, it's in being unforgettable when it matters in a world obsessed with networking, connections, and who you know. It's easy to think that access is the golden ticket to success. But access without ability is a short-lived illusion. Doors may open because of who you meet, but you stay in the room because of what you can do. Talent, grit, and mastery are what make you irreplaceable. Many people chase short-cuts, clout, popularity, followers thinking those things will carry them. But all the access in the world won't help you if you can't deliver once the spotlight's on you. What good is being handed a mic if you have nothing powerful to say? What good is sitting at the table if you haven't earned your seat through competence? When you focus on building skill, you're investing in something that can't be taken from you. No one can unlearn your discipline. No one can delete your experience. Skill makes you self-reliant. It gives you quiet confidence, the kind that doesn't need validation because it's rooted in proof. Connections can introduce you, but skill earns you respect. It's the difference between being invited as a guest and being needed as a leader. So don't just chase access. Don't just collect contacts and hope they'll save you. Sharpen your craft. Study your industry. Practice until you're undeniable. Become the person who doesn't just get the opportunity but owns it once it's given. In the end, access might get you noticed, but skill is what keeps you relevant. Because when talent meets preparation, you don't just knock on doors, you build your own. We live in a culture that romanticizes connections as if knowing the right people is the ultimate achievement. Yes, relationships matter, but relying solely on access without substance is like decorating an empty house. It might look good from the outside, but there's nothing holding it up. The truth is, access can introduce you, but it can't sustain you. It can get your foot in the door, but it won't keep you there if you can't deliver. When you focus on cultivating real skill, whether it's in business, art, communication, or leadership, you become the kind of person opportunity sticks to. You stop needing someone to constantly open doors for you because you learn to build your own. Skill is what separates noise from influence. It's what transforms chance into legacy. While others are chasing shout-outs, likes, or superficial exposure, the person mastering their craft is building something no algorithm can manipulate: depth. That kind of growth doesn't come with applause, it comes in silence, with effort, repetition, and time. When you're truly skilled, you don't panic when you're left on your own. You don't crumble when the spotlight shifts. You're prepared because your foundation is strong. You've trained for it, and when that rare opportunity finally arrives, you're not scrambling to prove yourself. You've already become the person ready to receive it, so shift the focus. Don't just seek rooms filled with important people. Become the person they want in the room. That doesn't come from charm. It comes from competence, the quiet kind of confidence that skill alone can give. There's a strange pride people take in being busy, calendars packed, messages left unread, constant motion, constant noise, but being busy doesn't always mean you're being effective. In fact, busyness often masks a lack of clarity. It can be a distraction, a way to feel important without actually moving forward. We've all been there, saying yes to everything, thinking the more we do, the more we'll achieve. But if your time is filled with things that don't align with your goals, then your energy is being scattered, not spent wisely. Activity is not the same as impact. Purpose, on the other hand, brings focus. When you lead with purpose, you stop chasing every opportunity and start choosing the right ones. You're not just moving, you're moving in the right direction. That's when your actions start creating real momentum, not just motion. It's easy to fall into the trap of constant productivity for the sake of appearance, but true fulfillment comes from intentional living. It's about asking, why am I doing this? What does it serve? Does this align with who I'm becoming? Living purposefully doesn't mean doing less, it means doing what matters most. It means knowing the difference between what looks good and what feels right. When your days are shaped by meaning instead of urgency, you stop running on empty and start rising with clarity. Your value isn't measured by how exhausted you are at the end of the day. It's measured by how aligned your efforts are with your mission. So trade the busy badge for purposeful progress. Because success isn't found in being overwhelmed, it's found in being intentional.